and welcome everyone to our ninth stream. So it has been it's been a great journey so far. We started with two people. We are slowly connecting with more and more, and our panel is growing. So today we are going to have a mini MBA masterclass with Justin. Justin, who is also known as the Revenue Ronnie on X, and pleasure to have you here, Justin. And today on our panel, with we are doing this with Yash, Sanjay, and I would say that Sanjay is the most interested person, particularly for this stream. He had made me some extra setups on my end just for this stream. So
Mhm.
with that, we will move forward to Justin. Over to you, Justin.
Yeah, thanks, Harsh, for that nice intro. And yeah, great to be here with everyone. I'm going to share this out on some of my group DMs here so we can get some more viewers here. I want to make it a big filled audience out there. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. And thank you again,
Yeah.
Harsh and Yash and Sanjay, for the invitation. It's great to be here with you guys. Really love what you guys are doing. A big fan of live streaming. And, uh, and yeah, just quick background on me before we jump into this mini MBA masterclass. So actually bootstrapped my way through business school, running an IT consulting company. So I have an IT background, Microsoft certified, Google certified partner, um, Cisco certified network administrator. So I have a very technical background, and I bootstrapped my way through business school running that IT company. I did $1 million in 5 years, but I only netted, 40, 50 grand in that for 5 years. And so that taught me a very important lesson about profit, right?
Mhm.
Profit. So, and then after I wound down that IT company, I pivoted to digital marketing agency, right? I saw the writing on the wall. I really was attracted to that, internet millionaire lifestyle, right? I was like, oh, I want
Mhm.
that's me, that laptop lifestyle. And so I literally went all in on, teaching myself digital marketing and internet marketing for 90 days. I was up till like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 20 days a month, just studying everything I could, reading every ebook, every blog, every podcast, you name it. And I just went very deep.
Oh,
And I basically taught myself a PhD in digital marketing in 3 months. And so
yeah.
I went back to my top IT clients and I said, "Hey, I'm starting a marketing agency. I know you guys have websites. How's it working?" And they're like, "It's not working for us." I was like, "Okay, so give me 3 months. Let me show you some traffic. Let me show you some leads and sales and help you generate, revenue with your website." And sure enough, I got like 5 clients because they
Mhm.
already trusted me with their IT. So now I was going to be that, digital marketing solution for them. And so that really stemmed and put into action the my digital marketing journey and building an agency. And and then yeah, I really worked, in corporate as well. So I worked for T. Harvecker of Peak Potentials Training. So I helped build his digital presence. This is before paid ads, right? So it was strictly organic Facebook, right?
Mm.
Like, building fan pages and stuff like that. And then I worked for a hair care products manufacturer as well. I worked for a $1 billion credit union, a biotech startup, but I never shut down my agency, right? I never, even when I worked in corporate, I never shut down my agency.
Mm.
And I've tried a lot of things. I've tried affiliate marketing. I've tried Shopify stores. I've tried, e-commerce. I've tried building faceless YouTube channels. I mean, I've tried a lot of different things, right? And one thing that I found in this journey is ultimately, it's all about, building on the 7 C's framework that I teach. And
Mm.
I'll share that in a little bit, but yeah, that's a little bit about me, and happy to be here, and
Yeah.
yeah, great, happy to
That's
get into
that's
the
a really
conversation.
really cool introduction. Like you shared, what's the journey looks like from there to now, and so like my question will be, you learned a lot
yourself in, in that 3 months of time. And there are, I'm in that field also, and I know like they're not just thousands of blogs, but like tons and tons of creators who publish them. So like I believe that through that learning process you have filtered out some really good people who publish good value. So what are those that you can share with the audience if they want to learn something, they are the person to learn to that specific thing?
Yeah, so digital marketing has always been Neil Patel. Not
Mm.
sure if you guys know that name, but Neil Patel, he's been that like guy that I've been
Yeah,
following
Neil
for like
Patel.
15 years. Yeah, yeah, and his
Yes,
Mm.
specialty
his
is
CEO is
SEO.
especially
Yeah,
his CEO is amazing.
yeah, he's like top notch. I mean, he has an agency, he has a big personal brand, and he's been, given a lot of awards, but yeah, he's been one early on, like 15 years ago. I remember going to his blog, reading his content, giving comments, he was replying to those comments, right? And I was like religiously, consuming his content because it was literally like a mini
Yeah.
MBA masterclass on whatever topic, right? Whether it's backlinking, whether it's SEO, whether it's increasing conversion rates. I mean, you name it, right? Anything in the realm. And then when social media came into the mix, so he's the big one, and then also Gary Vaynerchuk. So I actually met Gary Vaynerchuk like 3 times. So at
Mm.
conferences, and he was a big one for me, a big inspiration because I watched this Web 2.0 video, and he just like changed my mindset where it was like, hey, you got to go all in on doing something you love and just go all in. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go all in on social media. Like that's gonna be social media for business, right? Like that was my
Mm.
niche. Like I've always been a business guy. I've always been a business guy. I've always been an entrepreneur. So I realized social media was like the next big thing. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to help business people leverage social media to build their businesses. And and that's what I did. I taught classes at local colleges, right? I taught at Miracosta College, a local community college. I did workshops. I did Twitter meetups. This is back in like 2009, 2010. Like I ran Twitter meetup groups where businesses would come in and learn, how to use Twitter for business, right?
Mm.
So I've always been all about what is the business application for these tools and these platforms, and how and the fundamentals really are very simple. It's how am I saving companies money and how am I making them money, right? We all
Mm.
want to do two things, right? We want to save money and we want to make more money in our business, and so those fundamentals apply. And so yeah, it's been a good journey, and those are like the two thought leaders that I go to when it comes to my inspiration for getting into digital marketing was Neil Patel
Mm.
and Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
And a
so
absolutely.
funny
Like,
story,
yes.
I got to share this. So I was at
Yeah.
I was interacting with Gary on Twitter at the time, and I went to a meetup in San Diego. He was at for a book signing, right? He was going to sign the book, and he was talking, he was doing his speech, and then he just stopped the speech and he said, "Oh, hey, what's going on, Justin? Good to see you." And that was like, whoa. It was like
Mm.
a crowd of like 300 people, right? For him
Mm.
to actually recognize me because of my interaction with him, like that hit me emotionally. I was like, wow, okay, this guy, he cares. He has that context, right? Because that's one of the C's in the framework is context, right?
Mm.
Context. And so that really, hit me hard. I was like, okay, this guy, he's onto something here. And so, yeah, those are my two big ones, Neil Patel and Gary Vee.
Amazing. So with that, I mean, it's a really good start, and it sounds like to me like Gary Vaynerchuk is a huge turning point and kind of inspiration for you. Amazing. So if you talk about like your current goals that you are still pursuing them, so like what's, it's 2025 just started. What's the goal in your personal brand? What do you want to, you know where you want to get it somewhere at the end of the year?
Yeah, so I don't like the word goals. I like the word outcomes, right? So a lot of people are big on goals, right? And yeah, those good goals are good for some people, but I reframe it in my mind as a outcome that I'm looking to achieve, right? And so when you work in corporate like me for all these years, it's all about, what are those business outcomes we're looking to achieve? So just a reframe of the mindset, number one. But my top three revenue buckets, right? So I have three revenue buckets. They're very clear, right? They're very clear. So number one is building the revenue Ronin community, and it's a mastermind community to 10K a month, right? That's number one. And I have about, I don't know, $200 a month coming in from that community right now. Not very much, but I've only started it like 4 months ago. So that's number one. Number two is sponsorship deal. I'm looking to land a brand sponsorship deal with a brand on X. And I average now 100,000 impressions a month. That's what I average. I've hit 1 million impressions for the year, and some people hit that in a month, but that's their journey. I'm focused on my journey. And so now I'm starting to have conversations with bigger brands to land some paid sponsorship deals. Now I've gotten swag, I've gotten perks, I've gotten discounts, I've gotten, free trials to software, stuff like that. But I'm really looking for a paid, like where they're paying me between $100 and $1,000 a month to endorse their brand, right? Like, for example, welcome to today's Sales and Marketing Mastery Minute. Today's episode is sponsored by Fill and Company brand here, right? That's what I'm looking for, right? So that will
Yeah.
be revenue bucket number two. And then number three is my sales and marketing agency, right? So this is where, and just to get back to the Ronin community for a second. So my goal and mission with that is to create 1,000 fellow Ronins on the journey towards sales and marketing mastery, where they're bringing in revenue for their business all around sales and marketing mastery, because there's really only two business drivers for any company, and it's sales and it's marketing. All the other departments, are great. Accounting, you need finance, you need operations, you need full stack developers, you need all that, right? I'm not
Yeah.
discounting that, but where my lane is in zone of genius is sales and marketing, right? And so
Exactly.
people that want to master that, that's where the Ronin community comes in, because we really get very clear about how that looks for you in your current situation. So then the sales and marketing agency is where I have clients that pay me to run Google ads, or clients that pay me to handle their email marketing, or clients that pay me for strictly fractional CMO advisory. So a fractional CMO is basically they're getting a chief marketing officer at the fraction of a cost, right? That's what a fractional CMO means, right? The average salary for CMO in San Diego is 250,000 a year. Okay, so 250,000 a year, a fraction of that. I dedicate certain amount of hours for that account, and I charge $500 an hour for corporate clients. So if somebody wants to maybe try me out first, right? They pay $500 an hour if they're a corporate client. Now I don't charge, people on X $500 an hour, right? Like it doesn't make sense for them, right? So I have a particular, hourly rate or program for them. And I have three offers. I have high ticket, mid ticket, and low ticket. And this is where I teach everyone to make sure they have different price points for different target audiences, right? So with that sales and marketing agency, this year I'm looking to hit, at least 10K a month. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But yeah, I at least want to hit 20K a month by the end of the year. 20K
Amazing.
a month by the end of the year. Yeah, yeah. And right now I'm building the team out, right? I'm building my team out because I can't run Google ads. I can't do everything myself, right? It's just not scalable, right? So I'm working on building my team and partnerships with fulfillment partners, where I can focus on sales and the fractional CMO advisory, and then have a team do fulfillment. So I'm really focusing on that. So those are my three revenue buckets. Just to reiterate, the uh, the sales and
Yeah.
marketing mastery community, the Ronin community, the paid sponsorship, and then my sales marketing agency. And then as a bonus, I do have a show I host, as you guys may not know, it's called Be Real X Talks. And this is where I interview fellow X creators that I've met in a Model X Tesla, and we drive around San Diego and I interview them in the Model X Tesla. And we've had about 7 episodes now, and it's starting to gain traction. And it's very cool because it has that cool factor, right? Where it's like it's a video space, and we're hosting the Model X Tesla, and then we go to and grab lunch. And so yeah, that's a
Yeah, that
big
sounds
awesome.
fantastic.
That concept sounds familiar, except for the Tesla part.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how I got the idea for that show was there's a like I forget the English guys, James Corden. He did this car karaoke with celebrities. So I was
Mhm,
like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do that on X. And I happened to meet the guy at the car wash with the Model X
mhm,
Tesla locally,
mhm,
right? So I literally am at the car wash. I park next to him. I meet him. His name's Eric, great guy. And I was like, I have this idea, and
mhm,
he's like, oh, yeah, let's do it. He's like, I'm in, count me in. Like, let's do this. So,
mhm,
we've been doing the show and we're expanding now to Orange County and LA. So it started in San Diego. We're now going to be in Orange County. I'm meeting up with, at the end of this month, a fellow ex creator, Dan Roeder, and we're going to be
mhm,
hosting a show at the end of this month in Anaheim near
mhm.
Disneyland. And then we'll be doing one in LA as well. So, yeah, that's it, guys.
Wow,
Definitely
amazing idea.
drop me a link for that. I will, I can just have a reaction video on that.
And then
Yeah,
when you guys come to San Diego, right? You guys come visit. We'll get you on the show, of course. As my guest.
100%. So like,
Before we move forward,
mhm,
we have few people in the audience,
yeah.
and Abhinav says hello, Justin, and Abhinav is not able to join us today because of some health issues, and but he also joins our he is also member of our group, and he says hello to everyone. Then the Alpha Buddha with him we had already did a live stream on hypnosis and consciousness and how biohacking and Alpha Buddha this channel is also great, full of a lot of content. People should watch it. So he also says hey hi to you. Then we have Jordan, and and Jordel is about to come to our stream probably next week. And by the way, guys, for when I am speaking about next week, so next week is something is going to be done on our live stream, which I'm not going to reveal right now, but it's a surprise. And Abhinav likes the idea of your show. So with
Awesome.
that,
Yeah, thanks,
uh,
Abhinav. Feel better, man.
this
Feel better.
is for all of you guys.
Yeah. And from my
Thanks for
side, I have some balloons. Yeah. So, I mean, you have a really great idea and the outcomes that you want to have. So I'm just curious about it, like, there are people or creators who are building a lot of communities and essentially around sales and marketing as well. So, like, what is the unique value proposition you have to show to the market?
Yeah, so I think where I differentiate um, my community versus other sales and marketing communities is that I'm really focused on bringing in revenue and those results, right? Like
Mm,
my track record speaks for itself.
Mhm,
Um, I have over 30 recommendations on LinkedIn. I have plenty of video testimonials from corporate clients as well as actual agency clients. And so I think what differentiates me is my simplified approach, right? So there's a lot of communities out there that teach sales and marketing, but it's very complicated, right? It's very okay, yeah, we get it, right? But I take a very streamlined approach, right? So when I'm teaching on spaces or teaching my clients or coaching them, one thing that my community members tell me is I take out the fluff, right? Like I
Mm.
get right to the core issue of, hey, what's going to help me bring in that revenue, right? So I'm all about generating revenue and results and return on investment, right? So if you talk to any marketing people out there or agencies, um, you know, they may focus more on brand awareness,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Which, that's great. That's part of marketing and building awareness, but I'm all about revenue, right? I'm all
Mhm.
about revenue. And so, um, in my experience of managing, I've managed a $4 million a year marketing budget. I've helped manage a $4 million
Mhm.
a year budget, right? And so there are certain things, my gift of genius is being able to identify those levers we need to pull to maximize effectiveness and revenue,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
That that
that
that's
revenue.
I just have this ability, this gift that God has given me to be able to analyze things,
Mhm.
Mhm.
whatever company size, right? Small or large, right?
Mhm.
And being
Mm.
able to see within a few weeks, I can identify the levers I need to pull that are going to produce massive impact.
Mhm.
And then
Awesome.
it's all about sustainable growth too, right?
Mm.
Mhm.
So some marketing companies, they may want to just do a campaign,
Mhm.
right? But
Mm.
I take more of a holistic approach to marketing, and it's more of a scaled approach, and it's working in phases, right? So I have a crawl, walk, run, right?
Mhm.
Crawl, walk, run. So before you spend a lot of money
Mhm.
with your campaign, and and you can read some of my past recommendations on
Mhm.
LinkedIn from my bosses. They said that Justin spends every dollar like it's his, right? He treats
Mm.
every dollar as an investment, like it's his own money, and
Mhm.
that's how important those ad dollars are, or those marketing investments are,
Mhm.
because I know that you're looking to get the most out of that dollar, right? And I'm not going to deploy that strategically unless I know and I have confidence that we're going to help meet that business objective.
Mhm.
So I think that's what differentiates me is my track record, the holistic approach to marketing, and my simplified approach, right? I take a very sales and marketing simplified, right? So put it
Mhm.
into, you know, context that Harsh and Yash and Sanjay can understand,
Mhm.
versus like, talking very, theory based stuff, right? Like that's one thing about spaces I like, is you can get very theoretical and very high level, but then why I have the paid community is I realize that, hey, this strategy may not work for Harsh in his business. And you know what? Yash may need a different strategy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you need to be able to go deeper based on a particular use case.
Mhm.
Yeah, the customized approach. Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, the one more thing that I'm curious about. So, like you have been doing this. So, what are your favorite and most used tools, software applications right now?
Yeah, so I'd say my tech stack is pretty simple.
Mhm.
So obviously I'm all in on X platform, number one, right?
Mhm.
So I actually
Mm.
did a test,
Uh-huh.
15 months ago. I went all in
Mm.
on X and I went all in on LinkedIn. And I realized I was getting much more traction from LinkedIn initially, but then it shifted like 5 months, 6 months later, and I was getting more traction, leads, clients, revenue from X.
Mm.
It shifted. Yeah. So, and I only got 220,000 impressions in 1 year on LinkedIn, where I got a million impressions on X in 1 year.
Mhm.
So my
Mm.
impressions were much higher. My engagement was much higher on X, and also I was bringing in more revenue and leads and subscribers to my email list from X. So it
Mhm.
shifted. Yeah.
According to you, what kind of product is best suited for marketing?
So it really depends, right? So it's either you have a product or a service, right?
Mhm.
So, but I'd say for right now, if you're looking to, if you have a physical product, you
Mhm.
definitely want to explore TikTok live selling, perhaps like TikTok
Mhm.
shop.
Mhm.
That's getting a lot of traction,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's getting a lot of if you have a physical product. If you
Mm-hmm.
Well,
have more of a
unfortunately,
service,
we cannot try that. Uh,
yeah,
the
okay.
reason TikTok is banned in India.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
from like 2 3 years. So, um, like if there could be in software, okay, that would solve any one challenge in sales and marketing.
Let's
For example, no,
AI.
I'm giving an example. Let's example ClickFunnels. It solves the
Mhm.
problem to build landing pages.
Mhm.
Second is like Hypefury, solves the problem to scheduling all these things. So according to you and your experience by being the creator, what can be another software that you wish it could have this feature function, or like you may think, okay, this I love this kind of tool having or not.
Yeah, I mean something around AI for sure, right? So I'd just say, and I'm doing things a bit manual right now on posting
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, but I think having, and that's why I love X and experimenting with Grok. It kind of does it, but really having that context window of, everything that Justin knows, all his frameworks, all his past history on the web condensed into an LLM,
Mhm.
large language model. And then as I'm creating content, it helps me on the fly develop that content. And I'm doing this
Okay.
manually right now, but where I see
Mm-hmm.
this going is based on all these AI tools is really being able to create and schedule posts like 10x that, right? Like
Mhm.
10x it. And then also a video tool, and I know they're out there, but a video tool that takes all the audio spaces, breaks them
Mhm.
up into videos,
Mhm.
and then can, get that content out there. And our good buddy RJ here on this platform, he was building something, I think he still is, where
Mhm.
it's basically extracting all, uh, it puts everything into transcription, right,
Oh
from the
yeah.
audio space, and then it takes it and puts it into video clips for you. It's called a space clip. So
Mhm.
he's been working
Mm.
on that, and so that would be a big one.
Mhm.
But let me share with you my Martech stack for as an agency, right? So
Okay.
so this is really critical. So if anyone's out there listening and you're like, hey, I want to start my own agency, okay, I'll give you the Martech stack. Okay, so number one is I use ClickUp for my
Mhm.
project management tool, right? I used ClickUp in my past startup that I was at, a biotech startup, and I became like a power user. So ClickUp is a project management tool that I prefer. Obviously, Zoom, you got to have Zoom, right? Because then you can record, or you can use Google Meet, whatever you want. But I use Zoom now because then you can record meetings, upload it,
Mhm.
transcribe it, get the AI companion, right? Also, you
Mhm.
need Loom. Loom is a good one for Loom videos, right? Um, and then like I use Square for billing, Square.
Mhm.
So I use
Mhm.
Square, and I also use QuickBooks Online for my accounting, and I use Canva,
Mhm.
Mm.
for a lot of my stuff. And here's the thing, like the reality is, like just 3 or 4 years ago, I needed a team of 8 people. Okay,
Mhm.
I needed a team of 8. Now I only need a team of like 2 or 3.
Mhm.
Okay, I
Mm.
don't need a big marketing team anymore. I've worked and managed like a decent sized marketing team underneath the marketing leadership teams, um and that's another thing. I've worn a lot of different hats, right? I've been an email marketer, I've been a marketing analyst, I've been a
Mhm.
social media manager, I've been a media buyer, I've
Mhm.
been, you know, ad copy creator, like, you know, I built
Yeah.
landing pages, I built funnels,
Mhm.
I'm Salesforce certified. A lot of people don't know that. I'm actually Salesforce certified Pardot specialist, right?
Mhm.
So, and that's not an easy certification to get, right?
Mhm.
But it was through my experience of migrating from Zoho CRM to Salesforce. I went through that process from a marketing ops standpoint, and we did it in 6 months, which
Mhm.
typically, would take about a year, but we did it in
Mhm.
6 months. So I really pride myself on that, and it was a great experience. And then I really studied for 30 days, hard, like hardcore 30 days. I studied, and I went and passed the test in San Diego. So
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
that's the Martech stack, guys. Like you have the
Yeah.
playbook.
You know, Harsh, can we create, kind of tool like that in a live stream or something someday?
We can definitely try that in a live stream. So
Mhm.
actually, I was about to get to that question that how do you see demand for a kind of platform which manages basically every aspects of content creation and marketing?
Yeah, so I think the biggest platform that's very attractive right now for me is Go High Level.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
Go High
was on my
Level,
top of the mind
yeah,
when he asked
yeah,
this question. Go high
yeah,
level.
yeah. So they've been, I mean, and I've been become more familiar with it in these last few years because, obviously ClickFunnels traditionally was like the go-to, right? But then Go High
Yeah.
Level came on the scene, and they've really done a great job at incorporating a lot of. Let me take a step back for a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so one thing that I've realized in my 15 plus year journey in digital marketing is things are very siloed. Things are very
Mm-hmm.
siloed, and also, very fragmented. And majority of the companies that invest in these software tools,
Mm-hmm.
they're not getting the full capabilities of the software. Meaning they're buying a Ferrari and they're
Mm-hmm.
driving it in first or second gear,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're
Mm.
not able to get full utilization of the platform. That's
Mm-hmm.
one, big point. And this goes corporate, solopreneurs, it doesn't matter, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
theme here. And so my approach to that is, you got to make sure you have the right people in the
Mm-hmm.
right seat on the bus. And if you don't have that people, then you need to bring in outside help, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
number one. It's always people, process, or systems. It's very simple. It's one of three things you need to always be focusing on: people, process, or systems. It all comes down to those three. And so, um, but yeah, that's just one observation I had that I want to point out. Like, don't
Mm.
buy a Ferrari and only drive it in first or second gear. That's what I see a lot of people doing,
Yeah.
right? So
Mm.
buy the tool and go all in. And if it's not
Yeah.
you that's going to go all in, well then get that get that Harsh or get that Yash who can help you out,
You know.
because they'll go all in on it, right? So that's just one observation. But Go High Level does a great job at um, capturing all those core features you need, like email marketing, a CRM system, text message marketing, funnel building, web hosting, you name it, analytics. I mean, it does a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things. But here's what I've realized as well, working in that platform a bit, and I'm not an expert on Go High Level at all.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I like to stay high level on things. If I need to dive deeper, I can, but um,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like anything else. Like there's a learning curve, right?
Mm.
There's a learning
So
curve.
I have used high level for a full whole year. So I have a
Hmm.
kind of little bit experience with that. For whole year, we use that application to run Facebook campaigns for or lead gen clients. And what I
Mm-hmm.
loved about this app, like the ability to manage one client. You have the CRM in the place, you have the funnel in the place, and you have also all the messages coming from the social media in one place. Like, that process was very time saving. But I like the idea when you said, if there could be a software in which, like, you could have, a kind of writing assistant, to set it up. You could have a in interview, either a talking interview, or a doc file that you can
Mm-hmm.
upload to it, whatever the way you would like to feed the data.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes your permanent writing assistant, and all the time it keeps learning and learning.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime it's going to be, you would like, okay, no, I would like to tweak it like that, and every single time you use it, it becomes so much better. I love
Yeah,
that idea. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
Yeah.
that's it's like a kind of a ghost writing, or like a writing assistant in your mobile phone, and
When
that's powerful. I was
when
discussing this in a meeting, last week. Yeah, so go on, her. Sorry.
with me, he was discussing that with me.
Yeah.
So basically, when I subscribe to this platform from where we are streaming, so whenever I need to choose a platform for a particular use case, I do my research first because there is always for every software either a cheaper and better option, or either a free alternative on GitHub or somewhere else, open source. So first of all, if I see that what is the requirement, if I can make that requirement, like I can program it myself. If I can code it myself in less time, then that is more efficient for me. And when it will take more time, like suppose right now we are here in the Talk Studio. We are making our own talk version of Talk Studio as a side project. But we are also advancing. Like for example, one of the features we are working on there is like, suppose if I put this frame like this, okay, but I didn't want it to be on your side. I wanted Yash to be on your side. So I have to manually drag Yash here, and that is how it will work. But in our platform, we are programming like whoever is speaking, they should automatically, the side should reframe. So these are the things. Another thing is like, for example, on this platform, I particularly chose it over StreamYard. Like StreamYard was my first choice, but I went on this. The reason is I can, if anybody from X will comment, the comment will appear here. That's the first thing. And on a StreamYard, this feature is not available. The another thing is StreamYards, particularly with every plan, they have a number of set um, measures. That okay, there are a number of set measures. Okay, so the thing is that I can only stay up to like 3 platform at a time or 4 platform, but with this platform we can go live to unlimited locations at the same time. Another thing is here there is a limit of 15 people on the stream, but if I want to connect Zoom or Google Meet on this, it's super easy. And I was like, I was sold with all these features because I needed that. So that is how I make the selections for any platform. And now, since I know that how these guys are working, now my mind is like, how can I quickly replicate this?
I love that approach. Research first, and then testing, and then it's like you can on the fly do that cost benefit analysis. Like, hey, does it make more sense for me to build out the
Mm.
solution here, or what tools that are already out there can I you know piecemeal together with either Zapier or whatever, right? And so yeah, I love that
Yeah,
approach, and that's a great approach.
Actually,
And
like making
when
babies of the
I saw
best.
a StreamYard, StreamYard was the basic plan which I needed. It was $40 a month on a StreamYard. Here it's $90 for entire. So that was for me a win-win situation. And also I am holding my meetings here these days. If like for me, according to me, Zoom is for webinars where you can go up to like 500 people. But if you're doing a meeting, I have never seen a meeting with more than 15 people.
yeah,
And there is one more benefit of hosting my meetings here. I can record the meets. Another thing is, if anybody turned off their camera,
Very
I
good.
can turn that camera on from my side.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's good to have that control, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, the ethos of the Ronin is really about control,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So one thing about working in corporate environments, which I loved working in corporate environments, but I really loved, when I did my own thing. I really
Yeah.
loved that because ultimately, and just to be clear, some people don't know the difference between a Ronin samurai and your standard samurai. So I have this whole uh, passion and love around Japanese culture. I
Mhm.
really love Japanese culture. I love how disciplined they are
Mhm.
in their culture, very similar to India culture. Strong work ethic, right?
Mhm.
Values, right? Like these are things that I really appreciate. And plus, they make great products, right? Like I'm a
Mhm.
big Infinity. I love the brand Infinity cars. I drive an Infinity. I love Infinity. And speaking of Infinity, if you guys are listening, I'd love to talk brand deals. So hit me up in the DMs. I'm available. So and this whole, even growing up, I used to love watching martial art videos, like movies with the subtitles, right, in Chinese or Japanese, right? I love that.
Mm.
I love those, Jet Li, you know, all those big names, Tony Jaa, like all these, Bruce Lee, right? I love watching those movies. And so it wasn't until I got some coaching, over a year ago with this life coach, and we were talking, and she's like, Justin, you are a Ronin. And I was like, it didn't hit me until, I was getting coaching, right? Life coaching, right? And that's one, pro tip I'll share, guys. Like, you got to get coaching. You
Yeah.
got to get coaching, right? If you're on this entrepreneurial journey by yourself, it's going to be a challenge. You have to have coaches. And that's one thing about the Japanese culture. Even when it came to like golf, for example, you see a lot of, Asian golfers, females, and they all have coaches. They have a hitting coach, they have a nutrition coach, they have a workout coach, they have fill in the blank, right? So it's all about coaching. And so my coach told me, she's like, yeah, Justin, you're like the Ronin samurai. I was like, oh, got it. And I was like, tell me more. And then she really said, like, yeah, a Ronin samurai is masterless. They don't have a master, right? But
Yeah.
your traditional samurai has a master, right? And what I'm getting and picking up from you, Justin, based on your life story, where you're at in your journey in business, personal, professional development, you are that Ronin samurai. And then so that got me thinking, and it wasn't until like 6 months later, I was on X, and I was, building my personal brand, Justin R. French, Justin Results French, and I was like, you know what? I have to create an asset, a digital asset that I can have the option to sell in the future if I want. And what does that look like? And that's the Revenue Ronin brand. And this logo right here was actually voted on by all the X people. Yeah, this
This.
logo, I used, I think it was Grok, or I don't know what I would use. I think Grok. I said, hey guys, I got 3 logos for the Revenue Ronin brand. Which one you want? And they're like, this one. And so I'm literally building in public, right? And I think that's the trust factor there that really, it really resonates with people when you're building in public. You're sharing your journey so authentically, right? Like authenticity is the new currency. Building in public is what it's all about, sharing your lessons along the way. And you know me with spaces, like I'm giving tons of value, right? Like I just am all about giving value and, helping people improve and bringing in more revenue. And yeah, so it's been a good journey with the Revenue Ronin brand. I got, t-shirts, I got hats. I'm building that brand, and my mission is very clear. It's 1,000 fellow Ronins on this journey towards sales and marketing mastery. We have 8 right now. We have 8, and we got about 2 more. Hopefully, going to sign up before the end of the month here.
Yeah. Harsh
But yeah,
was showing the logo on his bottle, the Inkipi logo.
oh nice.
So he also got his all merchandise for his staff and himself as well. Yeah, over to you, Harsh. I thought like you'd like to say something in the middle. You have your hand raised.
When the conversation started, so like you, uh, Justin, actually, I was about to call you Ronin. So sometimes I will call you Ronin. Okay.
That's
So,
Okay.
completely fine. Yeah, I'm
Well,
all for that. Yeah.
how does that sound if Siri says in the morning, "Hello, Ronin. Good morning. Wake up."
That's
Okay.
good. That's what we want to create here with this. See, this is a movement, guys. Like this isn't just a marketing campaign.
Mhm.
This isn't just a brand. Like this is a movement. Like I'm really creating a movement here, right? And it's not about me, it's about we. And if we can all get on board and embrace the Ronin spirit, the spirit of the Ronin, which is independence on our terms and focused on sales and marketing mastery, right? Like the 10,000 hour rule by Malcolm Gladwell states that you need 10,000 hours of something to become a master in it, right? I have over 100,000 plus hours in sales and marketing mastery, 200,000 if you combine my 2 business ventures, right?
yeah.
And I've had multiple, like I've had like 20 business ventures, right? Like, you know, so, but yeah, I like when people are starting to speak your language, right? When when I have people texting me or Harsh saying, "Hey, morning, Ronan," that's what you want, right? Because then you know it's taking traction, it's building that movement, right? We're speaking our own language, right? That's what you want. That's about
Yeah.
building that movement and that
You know,
ethos
at
around.
this point, I would like to share the five things that when I work with clients, the five things that I, focus on, they doing that and I also do that. So five
Mhm.
things that start with like awareness, like how you're getting the awareness level. It's like a customer journey. And second is like consideration. Okay, now the prospects can consider you as an option, as a go-to
Mhm.
option, or even an option to buy something from you. And then third is like decision. At that
Mhm.
point they buy something from you, they become your customer. Fourth stage is like, the results. Yeah,
Yeah.
you work on the delivery and the results, you get them. And the fifth, the very like one of my favorite stages, like although five stages are so important, you cannot miss any one of them. And five is like advocacy. How do
Yeah.
they become the your advocates? And you just don't have to do anything else. You just they become your advocates in the market. Your customer preach your services more than your own marketing does.
A,
Yeah.
a
You know,
thousand percent. Yeah, go ahead.
when when we started these live streams, so actually building I never like started by thinking that okay, I need to build a brand. We are doing our best to do so, but the main purpose is to bring in more and more people who can share their expertise. And there I have seen a lot of people, they struggle without these kind of guidance. And if even one person gets that guidance from my live streams, our live streams, then that is a win-win for me. And apart from that, it's like we are creating a panel. Like right now, we are having a discussion, but for one by one, slowly with time, we have a plan to like go and build in public.
Mm.
So in our streams, we will be building products, and we will be inviting people, more and more people regarding that specific field. But since we all have, like, we all value our time, so we will quickly take a question from the audience,
Mm.
and then we will move forward with Justin with sharing his screen and hosting the masterclass. So we have a question, Justin, for you.
All
Justin,
right,
if you had to pick one skill out of the top five marketing skills to master first, which one would you say that is?
yeah, great question, Alpha Buddha. Good to see you. Yeah, so I'd say content creation
Mhm.
is the biggest one that I would learn to master. And it's very timely because of AI, right? So majority of campaigns that you create is all around content, right? There's always content. And if you can master your content creation with, AI help, I think that's one of the top skills. And there's plenty of ghostwriters out there, right, who are doing this as a business. But I would
Yeah.
couple that with sales, right? Couple that with sales. So if you can become an excellent copywriter, and I know personally people that make six figures just from writing copy, just from email
Yeah.
copy. They make six figures.
Mhm.
So decide, Alpha Buddha, what is it that you want to do? My tip would be content creation coupled with AI, and then also sales, right? Because you're selling with your copy as well, right? So if you understand the buyer psychology of how people buy and you incorporate that into your storytelling and your content and into the copy itself to really and take this down, direct response marketing, right? Direct
Mhm.
response
Yeah.
copywriting, because there's a certain angle that you have when you're writing content to persuade people to get them to take action to the next progression in the user journey, right?
You know,
And once you nail that, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, like for this point, like I have I know this one thing, that this can only be solved with content creation. Like for awareness, you can run ads. For anything you want to get views, okay, you can run ads. but you cannot get this. Okay, my camera is mirrored, but it's like written trust. That means you build the trust with content, at scale. You can go one on one with people, it builds trust. But if you want to build trust with millions of people, content is your go-to thing. Like, it's the master to build trust, and that is important. Like, no matter how tricky you are, no matter how good you persuade with your copy and all things, but if you don't build trust, it all flops.
Also, there is one thing. If like,
Is my
okay,
screen sharing?
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I will present it in a second after this.
Okay.
And if you just want to market anything, sometimes to market anything, you just have to do something interesting. When you do something interesting, people do follow, or something unusual, like when you have a serious discussion and you want to just have a bite of a sweet.
There you go.
Like, it's
Yeah.
breaking the patterns.
Yeah, and
Like
when you
Love
like
break
it.
the
I
pattern,
like I don't know
people
why
notice.
I don't know
Mhm,
why my workout videos of me doing handstand push-ups, they
mhm,
get more views than my sales and marketing mastery minute videos, right? And it's because I did something
you
interesting
know when you
to Harsha's
look
point.
it as a funnel,
mhm,
the workout thing is like, is very wide of the wide part of the funnel. Like,
Hmm.
even if someone is not doing the business, even if someone is a kid 17 years old hanging out to next, they will watch that. But sales and marketing is like niche down topic, so kind of
mhm.
needed to have the variety. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love that point of breaking the patterns. It's awesome. Okay, let's share the
Also,
screen and
after
Mhm.
you break the pattern and if somebody asks you about it, you can just market that thing. By the way, guys, this is Tilkut, a very famous
Nice.
sweet from India.
Awesome.
So, with that, we are quickly sharing Justin's screen. And over to you, Justin.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check my calendar here. Okay, good. All right, all right. So yeah, guys, so this is a great conversation so far. Let me see if I can make this any bigger here. There we go. All right. So this is my internet simplified. This is a mini MBA masterclass on digital marketing, right? And
Mhm,
in my experience, this has been refined over the years, but at the center is brand and data, right? So your brand, whether it's your personal brand or your company brand, it's everything. It's at the center. Everything else you do stems from brand, right? And we can think of those, staple brands like Apple, like Amazon, Nike, right? These are big brands, right?
mhm,
But then, and the brand, just to be clear, is how you feel and the trust you have with that brand,
mhm,
right? So
Mhm.
brands at the center. Trust is everything. Yash hit on it. Trust is everything, and coupled with data, right? So when you have the brand, which is how people feel emotionally, and
mhm,
then you have what you're doing in the data, that's the winning combination. And data leads decisions, right?
mhm,
I'm a data driven marketer, so I make decisions based on data, right? And I encourage all of you guys to do that as well.
mhm,
And perfect example of this is I ran a paid ads Facebook campaign one time, and I did a video ad and I did an image ad. And I was
mhm,
thinking to myself, you know what? This video ad is going to perform better. I'm going to get more
mhm,
leads from the video ad. And guess what happened? The opposite. I
mhm,
actually, you track everything through the funnel. And when you
mhm,
looked at the Salesforce data, I was seeing that the
mhm,
image ad was actually bringing in more leads than the video ad.
mhm,
So again, the data tells you you need to let the data lead you.
mhm,
So once you have your personal brand or your company brand at the center and you start to acquire data. Now, this is where a lot of companies are challenged when they're starting out is they don't have data, right? So you can't
mhm,
really, so you have to make a hypothesis and you have to
mhm,
do some testing, right? You have to
mhm,
do like a pilot test, right? I love
mhm,
pilot tests because before you dump heavier budget into a campaign, you want to see what type of data you're getting and the traction that you're getting before
mhm,
you do 100 grand, right?
mhm,
Or $1 million investment, right? Like you got to have some indicators. And one thing about AI that's helping with this is you can
Mhm.
forecast based on data. So you can
Mhm.
upload a bunch of data. You can say, hey, here's the past performance. I've done this. This is amazing.
Mhm.
Here's my past ad data from Facebook ads or Google ads.
Mhm.
Analyze this and then forecast for me what the next 6 months to 1 year looks like. So now I can predict and forecast based on your past performance. Here's the revenue I can help bring in for you, and it's going to cost
Mhm.
you this much to achieve that. Here's my agency cost, and then here's your ad spend that you're going to need based on that outcome that you're looking for. And then, those are the types of conversations I'm having, which takes us into the first puzzle, which is social media marketing, paid and organic. And this is
Mhm.
really how I got my start in digital marketing, was through social media, right?
Mhm.
It was through social media. It was through Facebook specifically. And again, Facebook was traditionally known for just individual use. But in 2008, 2009, I was like, no, this is the future. Like social media for business, this is the future. So I went all in
Mhm.
on social media and really, you know, doing what I still do today with clients and companies is teaching them social media marketing. That's like a first, foot in the door.
Mhm.
And there's paid and organic. So just to be very clear here, because this is, the internet simplified. So paid is when you're paying for a video view, or you're paying for a click, or
Mhm.
you're paying for a conversion, right? Like
Mhm.
that's, paid ads. And traditionally, just off the top of my head here, for people to recognize, is traditionally right now X ads are very cost effective. They're cost effective. And then the next progression up would be Facebook ads.
Mhm.
And then the next progression up, which is more expensive, is Google ads. And then
Mhm.
what's more expensive than Google ads is LinkedIn ads,
Mhm.
right? So if you want to start testing in the paid ads part, right, start with something that's affordable like X ads or Facebook ads. And
Mhm.
please make sure you guys check out my paid ads mastery course that I'm launching next month with John Carlos. We're teaching paid ads Facebook mastery, right? We're going to do 2 Zoom sessions, 90 minutes. So if you want to learn paid ads mastery, shoot me a DM. I'll send you the link to sign up. It is paid. It's very affordable though, but we're going to be covering paid ads and helping you master Facebook ads, because it is a way to scale, right? It's a way to scale. So organic is making a resurgence right now, right? It's making
Mhm.
a resurgence, meaning in the past, organic was really big. You could only build Facebook fan pages organically. There was no paid ads in Facebook.
Mhm.
Now obviously there is paid ads, but that's why organic is making a resurgence, like organic X posts, organic video, right? It's just, you're just leveraging these organic, which is non-paid aspects, and the virality factor that can help amplify that content naturally,
Mhm.
right? And again, if you're creating content that appeals to people emotionally and also helps solve a challenge, that's going to have the virality of an organic post. So, and I literally just answered this question on a space over the weekend. This gentleman created a video where he took a wedding photo and he
Mhm.
added some AI and he made it come to life, and it went viral, right? And he's like, oh, I don't know why it went viral, but everyone loved it. And I'm like, yeah, it's because it was an emotional video. Right? Like someone's wedding, right? Where you're bringing to life an experience that was so meaningful to that couple, and everyone else like felt emotionally compelled to like view it, interact with it, engage with it, which is why it naturally went, and it got like, 300,000 views organically on
Yeah.
X. So the takeaway for everyone is, when you're creating content for social media, make sure it's emotional first, right?
Mhm.
Make sure it taps into the emotion, and then that can help add to the virality.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, any questions so far before we go to the next puzzle piece?
A comment from me.
Yeah.
Like few days ago, I was having a conversation with Yash, and in that conversation, it the gist of that conversation is like I said to him that the best sales, the purpose of sales and marketing is to create want. in the other person. And it can be a crowd, it can be one single person, but the purpose is to create the bond. Because when the other person is approaching you, when people are approaching you, then you are not selling, they are buying.
Yeah, that's a good distinction.
Yeah, and
And
people
I'll
want
take
to buy
I'll take it a
when we
step
sold.
further.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it a step further. Okay, so you want to become like not just a want, but a need, and I can't live without. Right? You want them to have a burning desire. And it's like, man, if I don't work with Yash, if I don't work with Justin, man, like I'm gonna be like missing out on revenue. That's the feeling you want. Okay. Like
Yeah.
and you want products like that as well, right? Like if you present a product where it solves a problem, and you
Mhm,
need to identify, like, is this a want or a need, or like I
mhm,
can't live without this, like I need this right now, right?
mhm,
This solves my problem, it's affordable, I have an
mhm,
emotional connection to this product, like I got to buy this, right? That's the feeling you want.
mhm,
And as a pro tip, you want something that's monthly recurring revenue. Okay, there's products that are out there, services that are one-offs, right? But you want to start thinking about for your business is how can I build some sort of monthly recurring revenue? And that's where software as a subscription comes into play, where people are paying monthly for, X premium. They're paying for Netflix. They're paying for fill in the blank. So think about this for because I love monthly recurring revenue, right? Awesome.
Mm.
So yeah, the next component here is website blog. Okay, so your website blog, consider that your home base, right? That's where you want to drive people to your home. You want them to, check out the different rooms in your house, right? This is your blog slash website. And the reason why you want a blog typically is Google and the search engines, and now even AI, they love dynamic content, right? Typically, your website has static content, which doesn't change. But when you factor in a blog and make that part of your content strategy, that dynamic content is what AI and the search engines love. So that's why you want to have a blog attached to your website. Now, um, you're going to have different outcomes, business outcomes that you're looking for your website. Like, you should obviously make sure people are subscribing to your newsletter, right?
Mm.
I failed on this a lot for 14 years. The biggest two lessons and mistakes I made in 14 years of working in corporate is I stopped building my personal brand online, and I stopped building my uh, email list.
mhm,
Mm.
Right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make the same mistake I made. I'd be far ahead if I had continued that momentum that I got.
mhm,
I'd be I'd be far ahead than I am right now of where I want to
mhm,
be at. So my advice is continue building your personal brand online. Choose one or two platforms to start with. Don't
mhm,
try to spread yourself too thin, but just go all in for 90 days on one or two platforms max.
mhm,
And if you don't see results or revenue from those 90 days, like shoot me a DM, let's have a conversation, because in my experience, if people go all in on one or two particular platforms for 90 days, they're going to see results. So
Yeah.
um, that's the takeaway. And your email list, your personal email list, because you own the data, and your personal brand.
Mm.
So next is email marketing. This is a big one, guys. Email marketing. I've probably sent personally, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 million emails, like with all the clients and corporate jobs I've had. Email marketing is one of those big foundational things when it comes to internet marketing. And you can just focus and specialize in email marketing. Nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that. But you got to have, if you're going to play in this sandbox, right? If you're going to
mhm,
play in this space, you have to have a bit of full understanding of this entire internet puzzle here. Because why?
mhm,
Because then you can speak to it intelligently, and you can understand what it takes for each of these components, because each of these is a mini masterclass of itself, right?
Mm.
I'm just going high level here for everyone to get exposed to this. So, email marketing, there's certain metrics you want to be on the lookout for. Okay, number one, your open rate, right? Is your open rate increasing or is it decreasing, right? You want that higher, right? You want that higher open rate, right? You want your click-through rate, right? Your click-through rate, you want that higher, right? So understand some of these foundational metrics when it comes to email marketing that you want to make sure you're meeting benchmarks or exceeding benchmarks. And benchmarks is just, hey, here's the standard industry benchmark for marketing. Let's say it's 20%. So if you're getting 40% open rates, you're well ahead of the benchmark, right? And each industry has benchmarks for these metrics. Okay, study those, know what they are, recognize them, and then see how you're measuring up each month. And there's plenty of email marketing platforms out there. There's plenty, but essentially, how often are you sending emails? How often are you staying in front of people? Because this touch point, the money is in the list. Okay, the money is in the list. So you should be making industry standard is you should be making at least $1 a month on average per email subscriber. So if you have 300 emails, you should be making $300 a month. If you have 3,000 emails, you should be making $3,000 a month. That's the bench standard right there.
Mhm.
So email marketing, foundational aspect to the internet puzzle here. And yeah, any questions before we go into video marketing?
Well, Sanjay, I have not spoken yet. Sanjay?
Actually, I was enjoying the show since I'm not a marketing guy, but whatever I'm learning today is really amazing. Now I
Mhm.
started to think, and not actually started to think, I'm actually getting a lot of ideas from it. Okay, as it is filling my cup.
Mhm.
But yeah, I do have some questions like whatever spoke earlier. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I will ask after the completion of this because this question is not related to this one. Those
Mhm.
things are related to the
Okay.
Yeah,
commercial stuff.
awesome. And I'll just say this, Sanjay. So
Mhm.
I used to be uh, so I used to not think sales was that big of a deal early on in my career, right?
Mhm.
I didn't prioritize sales. I didn't consider myself a salesperson. But then when I started my IT consulting business, I
Mhm.
realized, hey, I have to sell myself. I have to sell myself because all those 400 clients that I got, that was me selling myself, right? I
Yeah.
wasn't selling, I was also selling my company and my services, right? But first and foremost, they were buying and trusting Justin. So I think essentially the mindset shift for everyone out there who are like, hey, I'm not a salesperson or whatever, I'm not a marketing person, you're always selling and marketing yourself, period. You have to embrace that and you have to acknowledge that and step into that, right? Because ultimately people want to know, like, and trust Sanjay in order for them to do business with you, right? So if you can sell yourself, build that trust, you're always selling or you're being sold one way or another, right? And so once people know, like, and trust you, then they're going to be like, oh yeah, what does Sanjay do? What does he, what does he help out with? Is he a programmer? Is he a videographer? What type of services do you do? Right. So yeah, essentially, if there's one piece of advice I can share with everyone that's listening in, look, you're in sales whether you like it or not, and just accept it and, work on how can I sell myself effectively, communicate better, and really build trust with people because ultimately everyone is in sales. You're selling yourself, you're selling your products or services, and and yeah, we're building businesses here, right? We're
Mhm.
building personal brands. We're building personal brands here, and this is the prime time to be doing it right here on this platform.
Mhm.
Yeah, go
Also,
for it.
before we move forward, there is a boy. He was talking with me 2 days ago, and I know I'm saying this because I know he's watching our stream right now. Basically, his question was like, everyone is posting on X, everyone is posting on Instagram, and how can I do that? How can I make my space in that in there? The
No.
first thing is you have to start doing it. Another thing is a lot of people post the same content. So most of the people they see almost the same thing in their entire timeline. And if you can just put in something which is different from that, it will automatically take their entire attention to you. That's the first thing. Another thing is people are very collaborative, most of them. Like, people say that people think about themselves, not about you. I don't believe that. People do care. People do care about you. And most of the people, they are collaborative. They want you to collab. They want to grow together. And that is how we as a society, we move forward. So be open to everyone, like just talk with people. Sometimes, there are four methods of growing in my eyes: Sam, Dam, Dant, and Bhed. These are my four concepts. Sham means talking with people. Just talk, ask. People do agree after if you ask nicely, if you know how to talk, they will agree. If even if they don't agree, then Dam means money, pay them. After that, even if that doesn't work, then Dand means punishment, punish them. And if all these three are not working, the fourth one is the topmost. Bhed means secret. Just know their secret. They will do everything for you. But most of the time, stalking is very effective. So go one step at a time. Over to you, Justin.
Yeah, great points. And I'll just add on, like, you need to ask yourself this question on the daily if you're creating content. How am I differentiating myself and my personal brand from the noise online? It's very noisy out in these X streets, right? And so you need to ask yourself the question, how am I standing out? How am I differentiating myself? Because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And so if you can demonstrate that in your content and you can be different and you can add value, share lessons learned, and do it authentically. And here's how we're going to stand out in the world of AI, guys. It's very simple. It's called storytelling. Nobody else has your story, right? Nobody else has Harsh's story, Sanjay's story, Yasha's story. Nobody
Mm.
else has our stories. We own our story, right? We own it. We're writing our own book right now,
Mm.
authentically. And so the journeys that we've had, the lessons learned along the way, right? People will resonate with that storytelling.
Mhm.
And so I encourage, people out there creating content to ask yourself that question, like, what's in it for me? If I'm a consumer or if I'm a fellow creator and I'm consuming content, like, what's in it for me? Like, what is the takeaway from this video that I'm going to put out or this post I'm going to send out? Like, what's the value? What am I getting out of it? What's in it for me? Ask yourself these questions while you're creating content, because that will help you create better content and stand out from the noise.
Definitely.
Which brings us to video marketing. So this is a big one, guys. Again, video marketing. Again, people in my past, I would tell them this. I'd say, what is YouTube? And they're like, oh, it's, video. And I'm like, no, it's actually a search engine for video, right? And then also I'd tell them this. I was like, what is Google? And they're like, it's a search engine. I'm like, no, they're not a search engine. They're an advertising company, right? So the reframe, right? People need to have reframes sometimes, right? And so video marketing is obviously huge and it helps build trust, right? So just like when you're putting content on the timeline, right? When it's written content, text-based content, when you have video content, it resonates and accelerates trust. It builds more trust, right? So that's why video marketing is. And here's the reality, okay? This is what the data tells us, okay, guys? In the past, you would need only like 7 to 10 to 15 touch points to convert people to, whatever outcome you're looking to achieve based on the
Mhm.
campaign. But you would only need like 7 to 15 touch points. Now, keep in mind, depending on your sales cycle, your average sales cycle, which there's some B2B clients that I've consulted, their average sales cycle is 2 years,
Mhm.
right? It takes them 2 years to sell a piece of $100,000 equipment on average,
Mhm.
right? In that journey. So the takeaway for everyone is understand your average sales cycle for your products or services. And yeah, once you know that, then those touch points, are actually 50 to 100 now. 50 to 100 touch points to convert somebody. It's because the attention spans are lower. People are less trustworthy than they used to be, right? Because there's a lot of scams online and all this stuff. So think of ways that you can help accelerate trust, right? Like, what does that look like for you? And you do that through video marketing. You do that through live streams. You do that through audio spaces, right? And so when people start seeing, like, they've seen Justin 15 months on X, right? That establishes a lot of trust versus me just being here a month, right? Like there's not much trust built up there. So
Yeah.
just think of ways you can accelerate trust, and that's with video marketing, and that's a whole mini masterclass in and of itself on how to rank videos, right? And that takes us into the next thing here. So do you want to add something here, Yash
Um,
or Hart?
For video marketing, I would say the best thing that you can do on video is just to put your face.
mhm,
Like put your face is the best thing, because if you wanna, like, video marketing is most of the times, if we do not consider the shorts, if we consider the long videos, the middle and long form, use them to get into the mind of the prospect, nurture storytelling, and put yourself on the case. So that's I can say on this.
I would say that when it comes to develop trust, I don't particularly hurry with a person. I just let them take their time. The reason is, when you are authentic with yourself, when you doesn't want to sell, then you can be like completely brutally honest with the other person. Honesty definitely clicks in others' mind, and sometimes it will click maybe in one day, maybe in 1 month, maybe it can take a year. You just
Mm.
have to be patient and just do your own thing. You don't have to focus on others. Okay, if you are doing your thing right, there will be people who will get you, and those people are your audience, those people are your clients. One of the things I usually say whenever I try to crack a client, that I am ready to let that client go at any moment. The reason is, if the other person is not satisfied, then even if I'm charging that person, it will not satisfy me. The customer satisfaction is like the top priority in any business. If the other person is not feeling it, you can have your money, I don't want it. That's the first thing I do. If you're satisfied, then obviously now then I have that, then I deserve that capital. Another thing is, you just have to, like, connect with people. When you connect with people genuinely and they see that, okay, you are authentic with them, maybe the deal will not happen today, but I always tell to everyone that maybe I deal with a person in a such a way that maybe the deal will not happen today, but even if after 1 year that deal will happen, that deal will happen with me.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, like there's a rule. There's 3% of people ready to buy what you have right now at any given time, right? So your goal each day should be, where's my 3%?
yeah.
Where's my 3% of buyers? And you got to go find them, right? And that could come from your email. It could come from a video you do, or space, or fill in the blank, right?
Mhm,
But the point is your goal should be, when you're doing your prospecting, which that's basically
mhm,
online prospecting and also offline, right? People discount the offline prospecting, where, I'm prospecting offline pretty frequently as well these days, because it's different, right? If somebody shows up to their office, they're like, who's this Revenue Ronin guy showing up at my office, right? That's going to get attention, right?
yeah.
It's all about getting attention. And the things that used to be traditional, years ago, are now making a comeback, right? So like
Mm.
in-person networking events are big again. People want that face-to-face connection again, right?
Mhm,
So what used to be old is now becoming new again and fresh, right?
mhm.
And so finding those 3% of people who are ready to buy now should be your priority, right?
Also,
And Yep.
Also, you don't need to find a lot of people. You just need to find a small group of people. The reason is people form chains in real world. So basically, the by what I mean is that if I have a mindset and Yash have his history, his own life,
Mm.
me and Yash are vibing so good along because our energies match. People do form a chain of best friends. There is a thing that never tell a secret to anyone, because if anyone else knows, like you have a best friend who will not tell anyone, that person also have a best friend who will not tell anyone. And this
Yeah.
this is a chain, and just like that, people form relations with people of same mindset, same vibe, same energy. So once you will catch one's attention, there is a high possibility that if they are satisfied with you, they will carry forward you, and then it's just a matter of time that you will go viral. That is basically the strategy of going viral.
Yeah, like I think you want the right people, to your point, Harsh, right? Like, so you want the right people, and people either infect you or they affect you, in my experience, right? We all know those toxic people in our life that we want to work with less toxic people and more people that actually affect us positively, right? In my experience. And you gotta, to Harsh's point, you gotta be able to recognize very quickly in a matter of a few conversations, like, is this going to be a good client or is this going to be a challenging client, right? And be able to spot those yellow flags or red flags up front. After working with over 1,000 companies, I've worked with over 1,000. If you take all my businesses and if you take all my corporate jobs, I've worked with over
Mhm,
1,000 companies. And based on working with that many different clients and businesses, you know what to look out for. And
Mm.
so just make sure that you know that gut feeling of, and based on the communication and conversations, hey, this is going to be a good positive experience. And um and I've gotten into situations where, look, I've gone above and beyond in certain situations to try to make the campaign work, and it just wasn't going to work, right? Like they didn't have the
mhm,
budget, they didn't have the time, the patience, fill in the blank, right? Where they were just looking for me to be the savior of their business with their marketing. And look, I'm not in the business of, there's only
yeah,
one Messiah. That's Jesus. I'm not, you can't expect me to like work miracles here with your
yeah.
business, right? I bring in revenue for sure, but there's certain, uh, depending on the campaign, there's certain expectations and outcomes that they're looking for that they can be achievable, but it's also like I don't control the quality of leads that Google is going to send me,
Mhm,
right? Like that's on Google, right? And same with Facebook, right? Like I don't control the quality of leads. And in my experience, companies don't have a lead generation problem,
mhm,
they have a lead follow-up problem, right? Because look, I can get you 1,000 leads, right? I can definitely get you 1,000 leads. But the question is going to be, how many of those are you converting? How many are you following up with? Are they scheduling appointments? How many calls did you book? How many emails did you send? How many text messages did you send? I can have that
mhm,
conversation all day long, right? So managing expectations up front, you got to make sure you look out for these, red flags, these yellow flags, and I'm really upfront and honest with people these
mhm,
days. And in the past, I was trying to prove myself, right? In my 20s, I
Mm.
was like, oh, I got to prove myself, right?
Mm.
Now I'm more all about progress and providing, right? Because now I'm a dad, right? Now I'm a dad. Now my mindset is different, right? So I'm not proving myself to anyone now, right?
mhm,
Now I'm all about being a provider and, being purpose driven, right? Being a purpose driven entrepreneur. And so yeah, just tread cautiously out there. Make sure you're very aligned and on the same page, and communicating with your clients effectively, and keeping them in the know, right? And
mhm,
if something happens bad, like just be honest and own it, right? Hey, look, you know, we thought that this page was going to convert, and you know what, we have to redo the landing page. And guess what, you know what, Mr. Smith, I know that, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do this for free for you. Oh, wow, you are, Justin? Yeah, because look, I know that you're paying me $1,000 a month. I value our relationship. And so the cost of me to redo this landing page to see if we can improve conversions is very small. And I'm going to do that
Mhm.
for you. So you want to over deliver and go above and beyond when it makes sense for you to maintain the relationship and the long-term value monetarily and with the relationship.
Absolutely. So we are getting back the slide back again on the screen,
Okay.
and we are moving to video content.
Oh yeah, we're on Google and SEO now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just reposting the space again to get some more people here. How are we doing? What's our numbers like right now? Viewership.
We went up to 8, then we went down to 2, then now we are at 4 on YouTube. And on X, I believe we are at 13 right now, 16
Okay.
views. By
Okay,
the way,
cool.
guys, you can also do branding through merchandise,
Hmm.
like Revenue Ronin said.
Like
Like,
we're your brand.
you have seen ads where the girls come and they basically drink Coca-Cola, and we buy the drink after that. There is no power in this world which can stop me for doing the same right now.
Yeah.
You got to
Mhm.
live your brand, guys, right? The takeaway here is as personal brands become bigger, like, you know, Harsh pointed out, you got to live your brand, right? Like I'm living the brand. Like even for Halloween, I dressed as the Revenue Ronin. Okay. I put on the
Exactly.
costume, I put on the blue X across the chest, right? Like I'm living the brand, right? I dropped 20 pounds. I dropped 20 pounds in 4 months. I go to the gym every day, you know, 6:30 in the morning. I'm on the bike, I'm doing exercise, I'm hosting spaces, right? But you got to
Mhm.
live your brand, right? If you're going to
Yeah,
be the Ronin, if you're going to be, you know, whatever your persona is, right? This
yeah,
is a big factor here. Like psychologically, you have to become that hero that you strive to be, right? What does that
yes.
look like for you? What does that
Mhm.
persona look like?
Mhm.
And it's very powerful. And it all starts with commitment. I don't believe in
Mhm.
motivation. Okay, let me be very clear. I don't believe in motivation. I believe in commitment.
Yeah.
Everything starts with commitment. Okay,
Mhm.
because guess what? You can go to a Tony Robbins conference, and let me
Mhm.
tell you what happens after the conference. 80% of those people don't do anything. Their life does not change. But the 20% of
Yeah.
those people who take action, who commit to doing the work, they will change their life. They will improve.
Exactly.
They will bring in more revenue, right?
And it is not just about wearing your brand. It is basically your brand is your swag. It's your own swag. So from t-shirt to your bottle, even my bag have that, to your keychains. If people will see those similarities, they will ask you questions. You have their
Yes.
attention at that point. Whenever I go out, I have these. I have like I keep the stickers. I keep different brand materials with me, and I just give it to them all the time. Like there is a person, he have no interest in tech on or whatever I do, but he demanded me one of these bottles. Now I gave him, and now he is becoming my regular. Like he may be particularly not watching my videos on live, but he definitely watches later because I hear that from him that okay, yesterday's live was this, today what was that question, how what that person was saying, and he doesn't even understand English completely.
Hmm.
Okay, but now his mind is like totally here.
And here's the masterclass that Harsh just gave. Okay, let me summarize it. Okay, people may not remember what you say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Yeah,
And the fact that Harsh is living the brand and he's doing these kind gestures, and people are, it's getting the attention. Like, oh, what is that symbol? Incupy. What is that? Right? I want to know more about that. Right? What is the revenue Ronin? What is that? I want to know more about that, right? So it's a good conversation starter when you're living your brand, right? When you're demonstrating, you're actually living your brand. It's going to get the attention and it's going to start conversations. I've been in the airport with my shirt, the Revenue Ronin, right? People would ask me, "Hey, what is that? What's the Revenue Ronin? What is that?" And the first, and I ask people, I take my hat and I say, "Look at this hat. What is the first thing that comes to your mind?" You have to do these case studies. You have to do these focus groups. And the first thing that comes to their mind is some sort of hockey thing. That's what I've gotten lately. It's like, oh, they look at the symbol, they look at the logo, they're like, oh, that looks like a hockey player. Like, is it a hockey brand or what is it? And then I have
Hmm.
to explain, no, this is the Revenue Ronin. So the point is, right?
Hmm. A few
Understand.
days ago, I had a flight. Okay, so it was just a 1 day trip for me, so I was not carrying much. But I was carrying this. My keychains were that. Everywhere I was like covered. It was like I was a walking, what you say, a walking board. And when people are like, your bottle have that logo, this have that, what it means? I was like, then in that flight, I had like a conversation with 15 different people at least. And the other people from different seats, they were asking, they were listening. Okay, even the air hostess was listening.
Hmm.
So that entire 1 hour flight was like a marketing session. Now these some of those guys have my number. They message me on WhatsApp. So when you go there, people will ask you for these things. Like you merchandise is a very good way of marketing yourself. So whenever I go, like I usually keep these with me, like these stickers.
Mm,
And obviously, I cannot give all of them. Like I cannot carry like 1,000 bottles, but I can carry 1,000 stickers.
yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, Harsh
And
is doing it, man. I love.
whenever they will see it, they will be like, now, suppose I put the sticker on their bottle or somewhere else. Now, whenever they will see it, they will remember me.
Yep. Yeah, it's brand building. You're a master there. And conversation. So shout out to, I want to recognize a couple people real quickly. So Dan Ryan, he was the first ex creator that signed up in my Rodin community. So I did a launch on Christelle's space promoting the when I opened up the program, and he was the first one to sign up. So shout out to Dan Ryan. He's my first fellow Ronin that signed up. And so he has a banner on his profile that says conversations open doors.
Hmm.
And it really resonates with me to your point, Harsh, right? Like we're creating conversations. Everything starts with the conversation, which then can progress to a conversion. So not only does conversations open doors, but conversations lead to conversions over time. A lot of the most effective campaigns actually for Facebook ads, they happen in the DMs, right? So they start the conversation, especially when it's a consultative sale, and then they end up booking a call, or you send them a PDF or fill in the blank, whatever they want, give them what they want. And here's essentially what marketing is finding out what people want, going and get it, and then giving it to them. It's that it. It's that simple, right? So, but yeah, conversations open doors and conversations lead to conversions.
Hmm.
Definitely. There is one more incident happened, and this after this I will shut up. Sometimes
Okay.
I start, it's very hard to stop me. But there is a person, and she is like one of the biggest client I had. Like I converted this year. Okay,
Hmm.
I will not reveal this on the live stream, but the thing is, I just genuinely started talking with her, and I talked with her for almost. I started talking with her last to last December, and this January, like almost 13 months later. Now, now she have a work which she thinks that I can do, and the only person she wants is me. Okay, and that is the power of conversation. Maybe it will not. give you an opportunity today, but you cannot say it for tomorrow.
Hey, can you one of you guys message me on the back channel in the DM a link to the YouTube channel? I want to send it to a couple people on
Yeah,
text.
sure.
So can you do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
the YouTube, because they're not on X, but I know they're on YouTube. So I want to get some additional people here. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, because I got about another
I
25 minutes. I got 25 minutes. So hopefully
sure,
that
sure.
works for you guys. Okay, cool. All right,
So
awesome. Yeah, so let's get back to Google SEO as the next puzzle piece here. So, and thanks guys for joining us again. This has been a great conversation. And yeah, so Google is that 800-pound gorilla in the room, right? Obviously, it's a dominant search engine, but again, Google is an advertising platform, right? And the suite of products that Google has is very vast. Okay, there's too many to list off, but the point is you need to be leveraging these Google tools in your toolkit for digital marketing. And just to name a few, Google Analytics, right? Google Keyword Tool, um, even some of the more advanced data, uh, products that they have, the suite Google Cloud, right? Forms, you name it, right? There's just so many. But SEO, right? So this is just one component of SEO stands for search engine optimization, okay? And basically all that means is content and links. Okay, that's the simplified version of what does SEO mean? It just basically means content and links. Okay, that's all it means. And so for you to optimize your website to encourage you to get your website to show up in the search engines for certain keywords, you need to optimize your website for those particular search terms. And it's very competitive, right? It's a popularity contest, right? Is what it is. And so if you want to become more popular for certain keywords, there's a science and an art behind search engine optimization. And just that component alone on the SEO side, like that's a 6-figure a year position just on the SEO side. And I don't want to get too far deep into it, but it's like you have short tail keywords and you have long tail keywords. Now, typically, if you want to rank your website quicker, you want to target longer tail keywords because the shorter tail keywords are super competitive and it would take you a year plus to rank number one for certain keywords. Okay, it's very competitive for some of these short-term keywords, but identify and SEO is a long game. Let me be very clear. If you do SEO, like you got to plan for like 6 months of planning and execution and setup and research and fill in the blank, right? That's the 6 months versus
Yeah.
paid social media marketing. I can get that going right now. I can start testing right now, right? So the return on investment is you're gonna have to lay a bit of a foundation for uh, for your SEO, but um, paid ads you can get that going right away. And I actually encourage a mix of both. Okay, so ideally doing SEO and setting up your site effectively, you have on-page SEO and then you have off-page, which is what you're doing outside. But I don't want to get too deep into it, but the idea is that you need to be leveraging the Google suite of products and tools as part of your toolkit when it comes to effective, digital marketing. And you need to be creating content and links for SEO so you can rank your website higher organically, because this is an organic play is SEO, but it's a long-term strategy. And if
Yeah.
you're looking for
It's
more
a long
short
term
term,
strategy.
yeah, and if you're looking for more short term, then you can do, some paid ads as well. So, um, and just talk for a second while I text this link out, you guys.
Sure, sure,
Hmm.
sure.
Did you DM it to me In
Yeah,
oh,
I
there you go.
have
Yeah,
I have
thank you.
sent you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
The way I look all this web kind of thing is like, it's not about the Facebook ads versus SEO, or Facebook ads versus organic. It's like, doing all of them purposefully and intentionally according to the campaigns and objectives. So like, everything has their pros and cons to start them, but it will take time to get your hands on to all of them. But once you have the capability to get all of them, then you're omnipresent, and
Yeah,
then you are everywhere. Then you are on Google, you're on each and every platform. Then you have a strong brand. You can say, okay, it's like a bulletproof visibility. Yeah.
So yeah, omnipresent. Let's talk about that for a second because yeah, I know initially I had said, look, focus on one or two platforms
Hmm.
initially, but
Yeah.
then once you go beyond that, then you want to start expanding to other platforms because again, the audience is different on some of these platforms, right? And people have their platform of choice. And here's the pro tip I'll share: you always want to communicate in the medium of choice of your prospect, right?
Hmm.
So, in my experience, when I'm trying to convert somebody in messaging, right? If I'm talking to them on Instagram DMs, I'm going to stick with Instagram DMs. And I know that that's their preferred medium, right? Like I'm not going to try to contact them on X or Facebook if I know that they typically respond and their platform of choice is Instagram,
Hmm.
right? So I'm going to cater to that, right? You want to make it very personalized and you want to make it very seamless for them because they're comfortable in that setting. Okay. So the takeaway is communicate in the medium of preference of your prospect and your customer, right? And to take it a step further, you need to be omnipresent. You need to be, and you can gradually get there because it'll start expanding your audience to those other platforms, right? And it just takes time to build, guys. I can't tell you, in my experience, building businesses online and building my personal brand or an agency, right? If you think it's going to take a year, double that. If you think it's going to take 6 months, double that, right? So
Yeah.
whatever you think it's going to take, traditionally, you got to double it. That's just the reality.
Yeah.
So the last component here is event marketing. And the reason why this is really important is now that people are, hosting spaces and they're doing live streams on video, like you got to market those, right? Like
Yeah.
it's one thing, and this was a big revelation I shared with a lot of people when I taught the digital marketing class in at the local college was, look, just because you launch a website doesn't mean you're going to get, thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. Okay. Your website, when you launch it, it's sitting in the middle of the desert. Okay. That's
Hmm.
the reality. So, what are you going to do to put your website in the middle of Times Square, right, in New York,
Yeah.
which is getting a lot of traffic and eyeballs and all that attention, right? What are you going to do? And you do these things that we're presenting here. You do these things. And so, when you have an event, right, you got to promote it. I did a lot of event marketing. I filled rooms with thousands of people through marketing. And one of the most effective things that I did was introduce mobile marketing. Mobile marketing. So mobile marketing, text message marketing, so that has a 90% open rate
Hmm.
versus email has like a 20% average open rate, right? So
Yeah.
imagine if you're promoting your event, right? You're promoting it via email, you're promoting it via text message, you're promoting it via posts on X, you're promoting it in the DMs, people are talking about it in videos, right? Like you got to promote the event, right? Facebook, Eventbrite, meetup groups, right? Like what are those mediums, what are those channels that are going to produce the highest return on investment, not only monetarily, but for the time spent, right? It takes time, right? There's a cost associated with marketing an event. right? So ask yourself, who's going to put in that time? What does it cost for me to do these tactics? But this is very tactical, right? And first and foremost, you have to have a strategy, right? Like, what
Mm.
is the strategy of this event? Well, the strategy is to, our business outcome we're looking to hit is we want 100 people at this event. Okay, great.
Mhm.
Let's backwards engineer what that looks like. Let's come up with a tactical plan. What's your budget, right? Like, these are the questions that I ask, right? Because then I can help formulate the plan. Because companies don't plan to fail, they fail to plan, right? So
Mm.
it's really important for you to understand going into the campaign, what is the strategic plan? And then you talk about tactics, right? And here's another thing where a lot of companies get it wrong is they're talking about tactics, right? Like, oh, we got to be on TikTok now, or oh, hey, we got to start a blog, Justin. And my first question is why? Why do you have to do that? Oh, well, like everyone's talking about TikTok and they're bringing in revenue and we gotta. Well, okay, is your target audience over there? Right? I start asking questions first and foremost,
Mm.
right? Because you really have to understand really four things when it comes to not only event marketing but marketing in general. Is who is the target audience?
Mm.
Is this the right platform for that?
Mm.
What does the copy look like?
Mm.
And what does that business outcome look like that you're looking to achieve, right? And then once you figure those things out, then you can make a better strategic decision. So, but yeah, guys, this is the internet simplified. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope a lot of light bulbs are going off like they are for Sanjay, and it really helps simplify and understand that this is a very broad topic, right? Internet
Yeah.
marketing, digital marketing, it's very broad. But in my experience, this is a good solid foundation
Mm.
to have that full understanding, and that's where I go deeper with people, right?
Mm.
Accordingly. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. And I got one
Yeah.
more, the seven C's framework when we get ready. But I got the seven C's framework. This is $1 million framework right here that I use. Let me share my screen again here. Hold on one second. So yeah, this framework here. Can you see this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this framework here is like $1 million framework. So if you focus on these seven C's to social business success, you will achieve results. Again, 90 days, right? Just focus on these seven C's for 90 days, and I am very certain that you'll have good outcomes. So number one is community, right? So
Mhm.
identify where your community is online
Mhm.
and become part of that conversation and establish what is your context to that community. Like, for example, hey, uh, the Ronin community is a community of fellow entrepreneurs on the journey towards sales and marketing mastery. And we're all about independence and control of our own destiny and living life on our terms and building legacies, right? Like, that's the context to the community. And if that makes sense for you, great, join the Ronin community, right? So you have community context to that community.
Mhm.
And then there's communications, right? Communications is critical, right? Like, how are you
Mhm.
communicating? uh, what type of communication? Is it audio? Is it video? Is it written text form? And then it's content creation, right? So you're creating content for the communications context for that community, right? And then consistency. So this is where, again, where people lack. Okay, companies and creators, they will come on this platform and they'll just try it for a week or two, and then they'll just like, oh, it doesn't work for me, right? I'm not getting
Yeah.
sales and not bringing in revenue. Look, here's the breaking news I'll share with everyone. If this were easy, we'd all be millionaires right now. Okay? If this digital marketing game was easy, we'd all be millionaires right now. Okay? The fact of the matter is it's challenging, right? Building a business is challenging, right?
Mm.
But there's certain things and where consistency is a big part of it, right? Showing up every day for 15 months, being
Yeah.
Yeah.
consistent, adding value, building trust, right? This is all about being consistent. And you want others to see, right? I want other people to see, wow, Justin and the Revenue Ronin brand, that guy's consistent, right? That guy's showing up daily. He's adding value. He's building, a community. He's building an agency in public. He's
Mm.
hosting spaces in a Model X Tesla, right? Like
Mhm.
they want to see that consistency part. And then conversion.
Mhm.
Now, conversion is that metric, which a conversion metric could be getting people to subscribe to your newsletter, getting
Mhm.
people to sign up for your community or your paid ads course or fill in the
Mhm.
blank, right? Or purchase your product. So whatever that conversion metric is that you're looking for, follow it up with these other 6 C's and stick to it for 90 days and you will be successful. There's a high likelihood that you'll be successful. And
Yeah.
even, Christelle in the Ronin community, like, she's the ideal, shout out to Christelle, she's the ideal uh, community queen, right? Because she's all about community and she's our first female Ronin in the community, and she's already done a video testimonial for me where she's been bringing in a good amount of revenue, and she already did a video testimonial for me, which I'm super grateful. But yeah, we're all about bringing in revenue,
Yeah.
Do
right?
you
We're all
know,
about bringing in revenue.
So
from where I got the idea for this format of live stream?
Oh, from Christelle?
Yeah, because when
Nice.
I first joined, when I first got activated on X, the first thing was in front of me is her space, and then at that time she was live streaming with using a StreamYard, and I got the idea, like I felt that this is a very comfortable format to get
mm,
in camera, because if you are alone with the cameras, maybe you can hesitate, but if you are with bunch of people, you will not feel insecure at all.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, like also video preference gets preference in the algorithm for over audio spaces, right? So it highlights it pink, right? People forget that, but that's a no-brainer. We understand that. So you're actually getting preference in the in the spaces area because you're live streaming. So that's another pro tip, right? It's all about that prioritization,
Mhm.
Mm.
right? And if you can become like I want to become a priority, right? This is what
Mhm.
everyone would want, right? And we talked about this earlier. Harsh hit on it, or sorry, Yash hit on it earlier. That look, you want people, the companies and brands that are going to win this year are the more people that you can get talking about you and your brand and your
Mhm.
business and your products. You're going to win, right?
Yeah.
You're going to win. And the fact that that's the best form of word of mouth marketing is when Christelle and Dan Ryan and Cameron and all the other Ronin members and prospective members are talking about Justin and the Revenue Ronin community, right? That's the best form of marketing because
Yeah.
now they're sharing their results and they're like, you guys got to be part of this, right? So
Mhm.
it's not me, it's them, and that's what you want. That's
You
who's
know,
going to win.
I have two good ideas in my mind. First of all, how about we, instead of just doing audio space, we create our space here. That's one idea. The reason is that from here we can go live on unlimited places. So we can go live on everyone's account at the same time. That's the first thing. Like suppose Christelle is joining here, you are joining here, Yash is joining here. Everyone's account is having the same live stream at the same time. That's the first idea I have. Another idea I have. Would you like to convert that Ronin logo into a 3D model?
So I have yeah, definitely. And I have a video of an AI video that Will Carter did for me, which I'd love to play that at the end maybe. But yeah, I would love that. Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
I'd
We
love
would
that.
love to see that video.
Okay. Yeah, let me share my screen here. And yeah, I know we're wrapping up here, but yeah, this has been a good conversation, guys. And hopefully any comments coming in that we can answer?
Not so far.
Okay, okay.
The Alpha Buddha have definitely sent us heart, and he says that let's win together. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Alpha Buddha. Good to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, let me go ahead and play this video here. And so shout out to Will Carter for helping make this.
We cannot hear the audio in the full screen share, but okay. Hmm.
Yeah,
That's a
so
nice
that's it.
video.
Yeah, so definitely, check it
Can you
out,
play
guys.
that again? I believe I shared the wrong screen.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
The world of sales and marketing is evolving. The era of the Ronin has arrived. This is Mastery in Motion. Learn from legends. Hone your craft. Take control of your financial destiny and achieve true independence. Become a Ronin today at therevenueronin.com.
Nice.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
I think like we should also invite Will Carter sometime here. Like he has like a really amazing voice, and whenever I go into his space and talk to him, like it feels very refreshing. Yeah, we will also try to invite him and see, and yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Uh,
Yeah.
so the thing is, I enjoyed this stream very much, and thanks to Justin. Uh, I would like to tell you one story. Okay, that will like tell more about how much I enjoyed. Two friends are there, who friend A and friend B. They both went on the wild for a photography. Friend B is an amazing photographer, very experienced one. So when like while doing the photography sessions in the wild, they saw an amazing snow line in the wild. Then friend A told that friend B, take a picture. Why are you missing that point? So friend B told, I love to take pictures, but sometimes I don't. I
Mhm.
just want to stare at that beauty. I don't want to waste my single second on clicking that picture. Let me just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm going to say for this stream. Like that's why
Yeah.
I was like completely say I was enjoying it. And
Yeah.
thanks to you, Justin. You you made this happen. But yeah, since I'm in the panel, so it's my job to squeeze some special stuff out of you for our viewers. So yeah, I do have some questions. Okay, so Justin, you told about the Ronins, right, and the discipline of the Japanese, and you also told they really believe that following a coach, following someone to achieve is an important part of their life. So I just want to know, like, who is your coach in your journey?
Yeah, so currently my coach is um I, I don't have any official coaches right now that I'm paying. So but I have some mentors that I lean on right now in my network. Um and yeah, I'm not going to mention any names right now, but let me rewind the clock for a second. So I've literally spent over $100,000 in education.
Okay.
100,000 easy. Okay, so
Mm.
if you calculate all my degrees, my schooling, right? So I've personal development conferences, right? So if you factor all that in, it's definitely 100 grand worth of investment in
Yeah.
education, courses, trainings, all that stuff, right?
Mm.
Um, but more recently, I did have a positioning coach that I hired, and this
Mm.
was about a year ago, last December, so 15 months ago or whatever it is. And because I was really good at marketing other people, but
Mm.
I was challenged with marketing myself and
Mm.
finding my positioning,
Yeah.
my brand positioning. This was a challenge for me, right? It was like, what is it, and I didn't have the Revenue Ronin brand back then, but he helped me get really clear on having my 30-second brand positioning statement, right?
Okay.
Which basically I paid money for getting this 30-second, and I'll share it with you, right? So, hi guys, my name is Justin R. Results French, the marketing profit mentor, creator of the perfect integration marketing system, where I help CEOs, entrepreneurs, and business owners create a personalized, profitable marketing system that delivers rapid return on investment in 90 days or less. I'd love to have a conversation with you if that fits.
Okay.
Nice to connect with you. So I literally spent money, and he helped me come up with that positioning statement and reframing everything and really elevating my personal brand from just another digital marketer to no, I'm a creator of this system where I'm helping you systemize your marketing and coming up with that plan and executing on the plan so that you can get that return on investment in 90 days or less, right? So that coaching really helped out, right?
Okay. So in your stream, you talked about the data forecasting. So is there any specific tool that you are using for it, or any method, algorithm, anything?
Yeah, on the data side, so I mean, there's basic metrics across the board that you want to look at, not only for like paid ads, but also for non-paid ads. So, impressions, right? Impressions is a good metric to consider. But also on top of impressions, you want to look at your click-through rates,
Mm.
right? So like, are people clicking through your links? Are people clicking through on your ads, right?
Yeah.
Um, Also open rates for email, right? So
Mhm.
are people opening your email rates or and it doesn't, and then obviously Google Analytics, you want to become familiar with Google Analytics, like the basics, right? Like, where are you getting your traffic sources from, right? Like, where is that traffic coming from, right?
Mm.
How long people are spending on your site. Are they spending a long time? Are they Is your bounce rate very high, meaning they go to your site and they leave very quickly? That's what that means. So, and then obviously, not all visitors are going to be buyers. So
Yeah.
Mm.
So
really understanding you have browsers and buyers and understanding the difference, right?
okay. So
Um,
it's like the segmentation is also important that you are saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's unpack
That's
that. The basics of segmentation, right? You really
mhm.
need to make sure you know in your database, big or small. It can be a huge database or it can be small. It doesn't matter, but you really want to have two basic segments: your buyers and your non-buyers, right? That's the basics, right? So once you know who those people are, you can communicate with those different audiences differently, and continue moving them along the sales journey to getting them to take action. And look, if you're looking to make revenue very quickly with your existing database, look at your buyers, right? See what additional services you can offer, right? As upsells, as cross sells. And then if people aren't buying, maybe you do a downsell, right? If they don't like the price point of $97, maybe they'll buy something at 27, right? Offer those options to people, right? But not too many options, right? You want to have typically like two, no more than three options to give people, right? If you can, even simplify it, just like one option, right? But
Mhm.
Okay.
sometimes in my experience, you got to have like a couple different options. But
So
Mhm.
for
and
our
then
viewers, customer segmentation matters. Okay.
yes,
So yeah,
absolutely.
And one of my friend is watching this stream, and he sent me one question. Okay, so I would like to read it out. What advice would you give to someone starting a career in digital marketing?
Yeah, so if you want to start in digital marketing, definitely there's plenty of, free courses out there that you can get with Google. And, I think even like Khan Academy has some stuff on digital marketing
Mm.
courses. Um, Even YouTube, right? Just, there's plenty of, but yeah, Neil Patel is definitely a good one as far as a thought leader on digital marketing. And, but yeah, just start consuming content and do research and educate yourself, just like I started out, right? Like I was an IT guy and I was like, I'm going to get into digital marketing. And so I just did a lot of research. But then another tip I'll share for the person starting out is really try to identify once you have the idea of the entire internet that I shared, this mini MBA masterclass. Now figure out which area you want to specialize in and just go
Mm-hmm.
deep into that, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
um, there's an old famous quote, right? Like the jack of all trades is a master of
Mm-hmm.
none, right? And
Mm.
so one thing about me is my specialty is social media marketing, right? Like that's my specialty, right? So like I consult corporate clients on social media marketing strategy, and that's where I really shine. And I also shine in email marketing and paid ads as well, right? So those are my specialties. But yeah, just get familiar with where you want to, dive into, and yeah, start with YouTube.
Yeah.
So,
So
So,
one question
are
that
there
came
any
into, yeah, go on, Sanjay. Sorry
uh,
to interrupt.
are there any ethical consideration in digital marketing?
Ethical.
Ethical? Yeah, I
Like
mean
data privacy kind of thing.
yeah, so there's like in SEO speak, there's like gray hat and black hat practices, but then there's also white hat, which white hat is traditionally like best practices, very ethical, but then there's also a whole realm that exists that's very gray
mm-hmm.
hat or black hat, which is frowned upon, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I encourage always white hat practices in any digital marketing because you can get penalized, right? Maybe you're ranking super high for something and then Google does an algorithm change and then you're done, right? Or you get your website blacklisted, right? That
Mm.
that happens
Yeah.
where you're
So
sending too many emails. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
one ethical consideration that I can tell from my experience is like, uh, when you are creating your hook or any thumbnail, it can be the first 5 seconds. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do not do that if you cannot deliver on that. Your audience will get pissed off. So make sure that
Yeah.
you create the hook that you can deliver on. Otherwise, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't need to bait the audience. Bait it if you can, but make sure that you can deliver on it.
Well, speaking of ethical, there is one more way I would like to mention, but trust me, it takes a it takes a master to do it. A beginner cannot do it. And before moving on to that definition of it, how many Microsoft products do you find they are good?
Microsoft.
Yeah,
I
I
think
got introduced to this
PowerPoint.
concept in 2016. So, okay, Windows is good, but there are other softwares they have made. How many of them are good according to you?
I think PowerPoint is one from my side. Yeah.
Hmm, PowerPoint
Office
and
Word is working
Yeah,
great for me.
Word, yeah, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. I mean,
mhm.
they're decent. Yeah, but obviously there's
The
alternatives,
Office
but
suite
Yeah,
is
like before
quite
Google
working well.
Sheets, all of the businesses are on
How about
Excel.
Windows Media Player?
Oh,
Uh,
Yeah, the thing is,
Not a fan.
and many people answer me this that it's an ecosystem. It comes with Windows. Not true. Completely not true. But because there is one more concept when it comes to ethical in marketing, and I we call it forced adoption by aggressive guerrilla marketing.
hmm.
Okay. So if you have enough muscle power, you can force people to adapt that product.
Mm.
So what they
That's
have is
true.
muscle power.
That's true.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, like there's plenty of forced situations where you're just force fed a software without your choosing, right? And so yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, I think that's kind of a gray area, right? And may not be super ethical, but I think we live in a digital age now where the freedom of choice, where we can choose which platforms we support and which ecosystem we support. Like, the perfect model here is this X platform. It's becoming the everything app, right? And it's becoming the
Mm.
go-to ecosystem for everything X related, good or bad, right? So it's
Yeah.
up to you. But keep in mind that there's people behind brands.
Mm.
There's
You know,
people behind brands, right?
there is this technique which I just mentioned. Do you know who use this? Which kind of people use this technique the most? Those are we call those people stock manipulators. So there are people they stock manipulate stocks just by leading the news and marketing it, either in a better way or in a wrong way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, guys, I gotta start wrapping up here,
Yeah.
but is there any way I can share a couple links for people if they want more information on like my newsletter or anything like that?
Yes, sir.
Well, you
Yeah,
can
go ahead.
deliver those links to us. We will put
Okay.
those links in the video description.
Okay,
Mm.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah. And guys, so make sure to check out our description maybe in next 1 hour after the stream ends. And you know, when it comes to analytics, I would like to show you something very, very funny. Would you guys like to see? I have noticed this when we like started doing YouTube for last 10 days. I noticed something very funny on YouTube.
Mhm.
Okay,
Let's see it.
so before we go there, sometimes beware of even YouTube when it comes to analytics, and I'm going to roast YouTube now. So this is our channel dashboard right now. Okay, right now we have 140 subscribers, which is 16 less than I should have because last month few of my subscriber went away. I don't know why. Maybe they saw me active again. So the thing is, if I go to analytics here, so 348 views, completely fine. I'm totally okay with it. 26.8 watch hours and minus 16 subscribers. Completely, that is okay. Okay. Anything seems fishy? Nope. Now I will go to my dashboard. Okay. Do you see here what notification they sent me? Okay. Now if I go to analytics from here, now it is the same dashboard, but now I have 3.1K views, 72 watch hours, and 139 subscribers. Means same platform, there is nothing changed, but on two different links on the same dashboard, there are different, like a different world of analytics.
Yeah, I think you on the previous screen, you maybe didn't have the lifetime date range.
Okay.
See in the upper right,
If
in the upper right? Yeah, so your
ah,
date range.
now I got it. So basically, when I'm clicking on that, I'm going to lifetime. Oh, and I was confused some time ago. Like, what?
This
What
happens.
is
This is
happening?
a very common theme among marketing analysts and myself included. I've been guilty of this. So when you're looking at your data, right, just as a pro tip here. So, hey, Christelle, good to see you, fellow Ronin out there. I love it. Awesome. Yeah, good to
Hello,
see you,
Christel.
Christelle.
Christelle, this is for you because I got the idea of live streaming from you. And
She,
I would love if you come someday to our stream. Let's make a video space. Like, let's invite
Yes.
everyone.
Yes, I love that vision, Harsh. Yeah, can you imagine, like, 15 X creators all streaming to their platform at once? Like, I love that idea. That's a big
Yeah.
one. So we should make that happen. So just a pro tip on the analytics, just make sure you're monitoring the date range of what you're looking at, because sometimes they can be a bit confusing. Same with Google Ads, same with
Hmm.
Facebook ads, even general analytics. Just make sure you're paying attention to the date range, because that's gotten me before, Harsh. So you're not the only one.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Like, it seems that Christelle, oh, I love that. And
Awesome.
I'm not sure was that for the heart or for the idea.
Both.
And Christelle says, so
Awesome.
great to see you all. And Alpha Buddha says that would be pretty cool. We are
Yeah.
definitely going to do that. Here we can add, like, we can actually add up to 24 people and 15 people at a time on the screen. Let's bring that vision into possibility. Let's bring the entire syndicate here.
Hmm. Take the impossible and reframe it to I'm possible. Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we can start listing people who love to do it, and we can come up on a day. So far, yeah, we can go
Because,
like that.
when I took subscription of this platform, the same day I told Yash and Sanjay that I am going to use it in a very, very wrong way. They are going to regret it. That they gave me ability to stream at unlimited locations because I want to get it to unlimited locations now. Like, it should be hard. I should be live on Kick. I should be live on YouTube. Like, there should be no platform left.
Yeah. Yeah. And shout out to Vladimir out there. Vladimir, he was doing live streams on X, and they took him down. They banned him,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But he's still doing his 100-day challenge, and he's using Kick now as a platform. So shout out to Vladimir Robots out there. He's been a fellow X creator I've come to know and love, and consider him a friend. And yeah, we're all building in public here. We're all building our thing, guys. And again, thank you guys for having me. Hopefully we can do this again. It's been a great conversation. I'm glad I was able to move some appointments here.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, awesome.
yeah, you guys follow the journey of the Revenue Ronin, therevenueronin.com, or check out, justinrfrench.com. That's my
Mhm.
personal brand site, which I just got done about 9-10 months ago, which it's all has over 5 or 6 video testimonials. You can subscribe to my newsletter. I have some free resources out there for you guys
Mm.
getting started in digital marketing if you want to do that. And yeah, I'll just say, at the end of our lives, we'll ask ourselves 4 questions. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? Did I make a difference? And until next time, keep making a difference. Build that mind, build that body, build that business, build that bank account, and most importantly, build that legacy. So stay hungry and stay humble. We'll see you guys at the top.
Sure.
Peace.
And before we end the stream, so make sure to join us tomorrow. Tomorrow, Ishita Sharma. She is a she's a lawyer and she's a corporate lawyer and she did his degree from Harvard Law School and she's currently practicing in India, but obviously she is serving around the world. Is going to join our live stream and we are going to discuss about the startups on our live stream and how laws and different allegations can kill or make a startup.
Mm, great topic.
Yeah,
Awesome.
like she is, I try to connect with people whom I find exceptional, like you, Justin. And when I actually met Yash, a little bit about Yash, Yash is also very good at marketing
Yeah, he is.
because
Yeah.
there, like, he will not speak for himself, but literally there are clients he served that those are not just in thousands, those are in millions of like followers right now, and I have seen that with my own eyes. He knows what game he is playing, and that is why I love about even Sanjay. Sanjay is, when it comes to anything related to electronics, robotics, he is my guy. And like, even like, even my business partners, if you will talk with them, you will understand why I'm with, because what what they do, like, my partner Bhaskar, I have never seen a negotiator like him. Okay, literally, I have never seen a negotiator like him. In like, I am not over speaking, but trust me, he, if you will tell him that, okay, crack that climb at 3, he will go to 300. He's that kind of guy. And it's not like he's trying, he knows that he basically pulls out that value out of anything. So those are like, when you learn from all these kinds of people. Even I have one mentor in my life, his name is Vijay Mittal. He, I have learned that, he bends situation in any, like, you put him in any situation, he will completely bend it. I have seen that, like, my mentor, there was a time, trust me, he there was a negotiation of like 50 million. Okay, that the other guy was demanding 50 million. All that guy got is a lunch, decent lunch. That's it. So when when you see these people, Sanjay, you asked a question to Ronin, that who is your mentor? My mentor is everyone. I'm learning from everyone and all of us. So power to all of us. And with that thought, I will move to Yash for for his closing thoughts.
Yeah, my closing thoughts is, first of all, if you want to, get into the world of sales and marketing, go check out Justin's X account first of all, and then subscribe to his newsletter. I believe he's dropping massive value there, and check out his community. The people were joining the community and getting results. What's better? What can be better than that? His middle name is Results, so you can trust him, we trust him. And another thing is, like, if someone is watching his live stream, that guy who asked, what they can learn about if they want to start a digital marketing, I would simply say is, like, in digital marketing there's like no limitation of tools, skills, and resources. You need to connect just two dots. First is like who is capable, and who can be like get the most impact out of it. So like a business, they are doing, let's say, 1 million, but if you just help them with one thing, they go to 10 million. You just need to find that one dot. And second dot is like how you are going to make that happen. You don't need to do that yourself. You can connect people. So, like, people are brands, people are skills. So this is everything around people. Social media marketing, it's $1 trillion economy, it's around people. It's like our world's population, like, we are humans, we're doing everything. So it's all around humans. If you want to do anything in your life, be around people, and that's the way to go of the basics.
Sanjay.
Yeah, I would like to say to our viewers, this streaming is amazing, amazing. If you miss something, watch it again. Keep watching it until you find your missing piece. And yeah, keep following the revenue Ronin if you want to generate too much revenue in your life. And yeah, join this space. He's definitely going to add values in your daily day
Yeah.
steps.
Absolutely. And watch it so many times that 3,000 hours completes.
Yeah,
And with that, we will go to Justin for his closing thoughts. And
yeah. Thank you again, guys. It's been a great conversation, and yeah, big fans of all you guys and the great work and this great platform X for allowing us to create. That's one thing I love about this global connection opportunity to build relationships on this platform globally. And yeah, just super excited to continue the journey, together here with these collaborations, because collaboration is the new currency, to quote Josh Hellman of the ITT. And, take it offline once in a while, take it offline, have those conversations. And like Josh said, like, it's all about people at the end of the day, right? people are buying, right? Not the AIs just yet, right? Like I can tell Alexa, hey, buy me a pizza, right? I can tell Alexa to do that, but ultimately people are still buying from people they know, like, and trust. And so,
Yeah.
keep that in mind. So, but yeah, thanks for having me part of it, guys. Great conversation, and look forward to the next one. Yeah, thank you.
And with that, guys, we are going offline in three,